Hello everybody, Chaz Large here with another video for you, and on the bench today we've got an ATARI 520 STE, and this is a dream come true for me. Years ago a friend of mine had an ATARI. I can't remember the model number that he had, but he did so many great things with it. I had a Sinclair Spectrum. Oh, I knew I had a Sinclair. When I saw this, I thought, wow. Anyway, I royally wanted one of these for many years and just couldn't afford it, and basically things went on, moved on to PC, etc, etc, the usual thing. Anyway, we're in 2023 now. This was 1985, 6, whatever it was that this came out. I just spotted this on eBay the other week and I thought, I'm going to get it, whatever it costs. So I put in quite a high bid for it, and eventually I managed to get it less than £100, thankfully. But the condition, as you can see, is awful. It's absolutely filthy. Two of the keycaps are missing. I don't know if it works. It just said untested, so it could be just a pile of junk. We will see. Before I'm going to do anything else, I'm going to take the lid off, have a look inside, see if there's liquid damage, because chances are that's where it's going to be the killer. So let's just go to the overhead camera and have a look inside, and I can hear things rattling inside already. I don't know, yeah, we can see that somebody's already been in here at some stage because there's screws missing. I don't know which screws. I've never watched any videos on how to fix these or anything, so I may be stumbling in the dark about how to take this apart, but I'm going to just go with my gut and do it the best way that I know how. So I'm just going to go through the screws one by one around the outside. The plastic is damaged down below here, as you can see in the ventilation slots. There's a screw missing there. These screws, I may be taking screws out that I don't necessarily need to take out. Those are metal on metal, so I'm guessing that they're to do with the chassis, so I'm just going to leave those for now, actually, because I've got a feeling that I probably don't need to take those out. Right, save those two screws. Is there any screws in the back? No. Now the beauty of this STE is that it's got a built-in power supply. It could just be that the power supply is dead, the rest of the computer is absolutely fine. So that top cabinet is loose. Let's just see if it lifts and comes away. Right, it's also got built-in floppy drive, so it's one of the later machines, I would guess. Right, it's not coming free that way. Perhaps I've got to undo these screws here as well. So let's take these out. Now they feel like more like chassis screws because they're self-tapping, so if we turn it over and drop those out. Right, there's one bit of the plastic that's fallen out already, so that's good. So now, having removed those screws, it certainly feels a lot looser. Still, this corner here around the floppy drive is still not allowing access. Is there any hidden screws, I wonder? I wouldn't have thought they'd put all these screws and then hide some screws, so perhaps it's just the plastic. I'm hoping that this is going to clean up, and maybe even I might try some retrobrighting, which I've seen others do on older computers. Perhaps you have to take out that drive with it. Don't know. Definitely seems to be stuck on that corner. Oh, perhaps I should have looked at a manual or something. Is there I don't think there's any clips. There's no clips elsewhere. Okay, let's take these screws out as well. The ones I wasn't going to take out that screw into metalwork. I'm probably making a lot of things loose inside that I shouldn't necessarily make loose inside. Has that helped at all? No, it really hasn't helped. Oh. It's giving away. It's coming. It's coming. Can I see inside now if there's a clip? Ah! Here's the answer. There is a screw hidden in the warranty sticker. Should have looked at that. There it is. Hopefully I haven't broken anything by not undoing that screw. There it is. Ooh, right. Well, so far so good. No major rust on the top here. The keyboard, apart from being dirty, is all seems to be complete. It's got a plug and socket, so we can unplug that to get at the rest of it. So the actual circuit board on there, there's a chip on there that seems to be okay. That's the 2 paddle ports, I guess. Now there's some muck around there, but I don't think that's liquid damage. I think it's just dirt that's got under this plastic, like a protective shield. So let's just put that to one side for now, because I really, oh, we got a free bumblebee with this. Look at that. Cool, that's a big one. Look at that. Look at the size of that beastie. So the old camera will focus in on that. No, not going to. Okay. We'll save that for later. A bug in the machine. There's a bug in the machine, yes. Right. So, lots of bits of broken plastic, which I think are all from those vent holes down there. The actual chassis itself, plastic chassis, is broken in several places. No problem, we can glue that. Easy peasy. So, we've got a fair number of screws going down through into plastic, which is missing, so I'm going to keep these separately. So that one was loose. I think what's happened is the plastic underneath is broken, so let's hold the plastic and turn that. Okay. Yeah, the old plastic underneath there is broken away. Keep all bits of plastic because we can glue them back and make it better. Right, so we've undone those two. There's more plastic at the back here. And a loose screw, by the look of it, yep. It's a loose screw. Now, the floppy drive is loose. And the mounts for it are there. Let's unplug that. It looks to be a fairly standard 3.5 inch floppy drive. Let's unplug that. If this has failed, I've got 2 or 3 of these. Hopefully they will be fixable. Right, so I think having undone those screws, the whole of the chassis comes away. Excellent. There's more screws and bits of plastic. Let's save all the bits of plastic. Like so. Pop that down there. So, save all these bits of plastic. Well, most of the big bits anyway, the little bits we can probably do without. Okay, let's have a look at the bottom of the circuit. Oh, we've got more plastic here, and now another loose screw thanks to that, and that's rattling around on the inside of that. So I think we need to take this top shielding off. If I done with a big screwdriver, there it is. So, okay, we'll keep these screws separately because these are the shielding screws. Cool. It's a funny old smell. I don't know if it's coming from inside of this or not. Another screw there. Well, so far there's no sign of any rust on the circuit board. Let's undo that one as well. A little plate. We've got a little bent. There's like a little whoops. There's like a little bend piece of metal on here. Have we got another one this side? Yes, we have. Oh, and one more screw. Missed that one. Wrong driver. There's the right driver. Right. Now that's the main power supply. Big capacitors, smaller capacitors, none of which look like they've blown the top or anything. 4 lots of RAM on the board. You know, I don't think anyone's been in this before. This doesn't look like this has ever been gone into, so it could be a good thing. Definitely the case had been taken off because that void sticker had been broken through. Or right, so more of these metal clips. Holding the two halves of the shielding together. Is there any more around here? No, they just, as they are, across the top look. And just down to one little catch on that corner, right, so that shoes come away. Again, not rusty. There's another screw. Main processors and so on all in there. Let's just tip it over and see if anything else falls out. More plastic. Yet more plastic. So let's take the bottom shielding plate off if we can. I think it just, by the look of it, just Make sure these bent bits are actually clear of the board. Right, this is a 1989 revision AA. So very nearly 1990. 10 years since I bought my Spectrum. I bought my first Spectrum, 1980. Was it 81? It wasn't Spectrum, sorry, it was a ZX80, the kit. Oh, I bought a computer. And it had all of 2K of memory. Alright, okay, so I can see there's an issue here in that part of the plastic has broken away for this screw that's holding the power supply on, so we need to just release that. The screwdriver seems to have lost its magnetism. I'm going to have to re-energise that. It's improved it, but it's still catching. Perhaps it's the screw is not so magnetic. Oh, it is. Right, so there's another bit of plastic there. So we can take the power supply out. Put that to one side and look at the board. So the main ATARI big chip here is okay. There is no rust, no leakage. I think we've got a good board. I think we are good. So let's just turn it over and get the bottom shielding off. It's just very closely held in on the board by these clips. There it goes. Get hold of the board. Yeah, look at that. Insulation still perfect, no liquid damage. The circuit board looks pretty good. I think we are in luck. Let's just give this bench a bit of a clean off. That bit of plastic may come in handy, the other little tiny bits and pieces not so. I'm so glad that I wasn't tempted to plug it in and switch it on, because those screws that were floating around inside could have done untold damage. I hope that somebody else hasn't already done that. They may have done, so I mean the whole thing may be trashed already. Can't see any components with flash problems. I think we might be in with a good chance of this working. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is see if this power supply will provide supplies without it being connected to the board. I suppose really ought to do is see if I can find a service manual for this. But look at that keyboard. That keyboard definitely needs a clean out, and I need to get a 7 and a whatever that key is. In fact, those keys they look like they're broken, possibly. The little square that goes into the key cap has broken out, so probably need to get 2 of those. I dare say they are available. One of the retro computing groups. I joined the ATARI forum and got some advice about what the computer's supposed to do, because never having used one, I wouldn't know what it's supposed to do when you switch it on. So at the moment I'm not going to go anywhere near switching it on. I'm just going to look at seeing if there's volts. Now luckily on board here we can see there's plus 12 volts there, there's ground there, plus 5 volts. Yep, so we should get in 5 volts and 12 volts on those pins. There's no switching input other than the power switch, so I'm hoping that there is no, yeah, so it should basically power up as soon as I switch it on. Okay, we need a power cable. Alright, the socket is switched off, so we can safely hold on to this while we plug it in. And I think what we'll do is we'll put my meter on the 12 volt rail. And that's ground, so I'll just do a check of ground to see if this chassis is ground. I don't think it is. I don't look like there's, no, it's not connected to ground. So are all those black ones, are they all ground? Yeah. .52 ohms, and if I short the leads out, there's 51 ohms. So I'm pretty sure they're all ohms. So I'm going to connect my probe onto there and onto the 12 volt output, switch to voltage, and leave it switched off there, so that'll be on. So when we switch it on, one of two things is going to do. It's either going to go bang, woof, whatever, or we're going to get 12 volts. And we're getting 12 volts. Yay! Let's also see if we're going to get 5 volts on the red line. Let's get a little bit of wire to stick into that. Right, so that's red wire, should be the 5 volt rail. So again, switch on from the socket, and we're getting 5.1 volts. So, power supply seems to be okay at the moment. Whew, I'm so eager to try this, you know. I'm so eager to try this. Let's bring the circuit board back over. We don't need to put it all back into the screening can, but we do need to put that onto there and connect that up to there. Now, thinking about it, how are we going to get output from this? What outputs have we got? We've got an RF output. I think we'll just stick with the TV side of things for now. And what we'll do is, it's a little bit fiddly to do that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my oscilloscope on the input to the RF modulator. Okay, let's use ground on there, as it should be ground on there. So those two look ground, though that one there looks like the video. So if it's going to boot up, we should see something on the oscilloscope. Let's get the oscilloscope up on the screen so you can see it too. Okie dokie, so hopefully we should see, and we're at 500 millivolts, so that's a fair amount of signal should be present. So now apparently I did check on this last night on the forum. It says that when you boot it up, if it's nothing, there's no software on a floppy disk connected, you just get a white screen. So hopefully we should just see some sort of video signal on here giving a white screen. Let's just make sure everything's in the right place, and we switch it on. Now it probably won't unless the keyboard's connected. So there's nothing there, so it probably needs the keyboard connected, or it's probably going to... Interesting, there's no speaker in this, so that's an interesting thing. I would have thought they built a speaker into this, but I can always connect it to my output stage, and we should also got lights on here as well. So we've got a green light down here, we've got an orange light here, we've still got nothing on. Oh yes we have, yes we have. Let's change the amplitude on the scope. Try one of the other connectors. And there's our video in the middle. Can I get my scope probe to stay on there without shorting out to everything else? Yes, I can. No, I can't. Yibbity doobity doo. And the earth has come off as well. Well, let's put the earth on there. Okay, I'm just going to hold it on. Let's drop that back up to 500 millivolts. And we'll connect it to AC connection. I'll change the time base to 50 microseconds, and that looks like a video signal to me. Yibbity doo dah. Let's go 100 microseconds, we should see a bit more of it. Yeah, it's working! Right. Next thing we've got to do is see if we are going to get any RF out to the TV. It's going to be awkward because I need to get my other monitor over.